My fiancée planned to announce her pregnancy at our wedding until I discovered the baby wasn't mine. I walked away. I'm a 28-year-old guy, the kind that thought he had life figured out. I grew up in a small town, and my parents raised me on basic values: honesty, hard work, and respect. I'm not flashy, and I'm not the kind to need attention. Emma was different. She grew up in the city, and I think that's part of what attracted me to her. We met through friends a few years back, and I'll admit I was head over heels from day one. She was kind, passionate, beautiful, you name it. I thought she was everything I'd ever wanted in a partner. We dated for 2 years, and things got serious fast. We talked about the future, marriage, kids, growing old together. I believed her when she said she wanted it all with me. So, when I proposed, I was confident. I'd saved up, bought a ring, and planned a whole romantic evening. When she said yes, it was like a dream. I was convinced I'd found the one. At first, the wedding planning was fun. We'd go over ideas, look at venues together, and she seemed excited. Over time, Emma became intense, like nothing was ever good enough. The guest list was a battle. She insisted on certain people attending and demanded specific arrangements for her family. There were even arguments with my parents over seating, colors, details that I honestly didn't care much about. I figured she was stressed, so I kept my mouth shut. She told me she wanted it to be perfect, and I respected that. Weddings are huge deals after all. About 3 weeks before the wedding, Emma suggested having a small get together at her place. Just her sister, a couple of friends, and us. She called it low key, just a little celebration before the big day. I thought it was odd because Emma had never been the spontaneous type. Still, I went along with it. That night, something felt strange. There was an odd vibe in the room. I'd catch her friends glancing at me, and then they'd whisper amongst themselves. I tried to brush it off, but the feeling lingered. At one point, her sister leaned over to me and asked, "Are you ready for the big announcement?" I blinked, completely clueless. "Big announcement?" I asked, confused. She backpedaled immediately, laughing awkwardly and saying she meant the wedding itself. I didn't want to make a big deal out of it, so I laughed it off. That question stuck with me. A few days later, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was up. Emma was glued to her phone more than usual, constantly turning the screen away whenever I walked by. She'd leave the room to take certain calls. I'd never been the type to pry. I couldn't ignore how suspicious she was acting. At night, while she was in the shower, I did something I'd never done before. I checked her phone. I found a series of messages between her and her friends, talking about some kind of surprise that she planned to reveal at the wedding. My first thought was, maybe it was something sweet she had planned for me. The more I read, the clearer it became. Emma was pregnant, and her plan was to announce it to everyone at the wedding. For a moment, I felt happy. We talked about kids. Maybe this was her way of making the day even more special. Then I scrolled further and saw it. One of her friends had texted, "Does he know it's not his?" Just sat there, staring at that message. Didn't sink in right away. Not only was she pregnant, but it wasn't mine. The reality of it hit me like a punch in the gut. Not only had she been planning to spring a pregnancy announcement on me in front of all our friends and family, but the kid wasn't even mine. She'd been lying to me, stringing me along, using me as her safety net. And she thought she could manipulate me into going along with it just because I'd be too shocked to react in front of everyone. That night, I couldn't sleep. My mind was spinning with anger, betrayal, confusion. I didn't confront her right away. I needed time to process, to figure out what to do next. By morning, I had a plan. I wasn't just going to walk away. I wanted the truth first. I reached out to an old friend who worked at a private investigation firm. I told him everything and asked him to look into M's recent activities. It took a couple of days, but soon enough, I had confirmation. M had been seeing another guy on the side for months, someone she met during one of her work trips. My friend got enough information to confirm that the pregnancy wasn't mine. I finally knew the whole truth. I kept my cool, didn't let on that I knew anything. Kept playing the role of the clueless fiancé, going along with the wedding plans, keeping up appearances. I wanted to wait until the last possible moment to call her out. Day before the wedding, we had a big family dinner with both our families. Em was acting like the perfect bride, laughing, accepting compliments, playing her part. Meanwhile, I was barely holding it together, watching her deceive everyone around her. After dinner, I took my parents aside and told them the wedding was off. I didn't go into too many details, just asked them to trust me. They were shocked, but supportive. Told a few close friends as well, and asked them to spread the word quietly. That night, back at our apartment, I finally confronted her. I told her I knew everything. Pregnancy, the affair, her plan to trap me with a fake announcement. For a split second, I saw a real fear in her eyes. It didn't last long. She quickly shifted into defense mode, trying to argue her way out of it. She told me it was a mistake, that she didn't mean for things to go this way. She actually had the audacity to try and guilt trip me, saying that I should be understanding, that she'd made one bad choice, and that I was overreacting. She kept pushing, telling me that if I really loved her, I'd forgive her and raise this child with her. I was speechless. She didn't stop there. When she saw I wasn't budging, she threatened me. She said that if I walked away, she'd tell everyone that I'd abandoned her because I couldn't handle being a father. She said she'd make sure everyone thought I'd left because I was scared of commitment and that I was selfish. It was insane, watching her try to twist everything, seeing how far she'd go to get her way. She thought I'd be too weak to stand up to her, that I'd just cave under the pressure and go along with her plan. Told her it was over. I told her to get out of the apartment by the morning, and I left to stay with a friend for the night. Next day, I went back to pack up my things, expecting her to be gone. But she'd done the exact opposite. She called a bunch of our mutual friends, and even some of my family members, feeding them a story about how I'd abandoned her at the last minute. She told them I'd gotten cold feet and bailed on her because she was pregnant. She made herself out to be the victim, trying to get everyone to take her side. For the next week, she continued trying to manipulate everyone around us. She showed up at my workplace one day, crying and causing a scene, saying she needed to talk to me about our future. Security had to escort her out. She sent me long emails, switching between apologizing and blaming me, trying to mess with my head. She even reached out to my parents, spinning the same sob story, hoping they'd pressure me into taking her back. I wasn't going back. I was done. One evening, she actually showed up at my parents' house, unannounced. My mom invited her in, but she wasn't having any of it. She told him she needed to move on, that I was done, and that her lies weren't going to bring me back. Em tried arguing, saying that we were meant to be. My mom didn't budge. She saw through her. Seeing her finally realize that she'd lost, that she had no power left, was almost satisfying. She left that night, defeated. Next morning, she sent me one final message, demanding that I pay for half of the wedding expenses, since I called it off at the last minute. I laughed and ignored her. She had no legal grounds for anything, and eventually, she gave up. It's surreal looking back on everything, realizing how close I came to being trapped in a web of lies. I was ready to dedicate my life to someone who saw me as nothing more than a convenient option, a cover for her mistakes. I learned the hard way that people can be capable of anything if it benefits them. So if you're reading this, let me just say, don't ignore the red flags. People show you who they are eventually. When they do, believe them. Some people will do whatever it takes to get what they want, even if it means hurting the ones closest to them. Thank you so much for listening to my story. If you have any thoughts, I'd love to hear them. So please leave a comment. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want more stories like this one.